Sure.
So we can begin.
So a warm good morning to all of you to the Defence India Startup Challenge fifth session, and I am pleased to welcome our partners, collaborators from DIO, Defence Innovation Organization, uh, as a platform of innovation for defence excellence, that is iDEX. A warm welcome to all our guests through the live channel of YouTube as well as through the Cisco WebEx. I would like to take you through a small to the itineraries for the day. So we start with the introduction of the roadshow today, done by Dr. Prashant Singh, followed with a presentation by our project director for IDEX, DIO, Commander Sachin Jain, retired. And then we will have the launch video, which was presented for the IDEX live for the session 5, and followed up with a startup opinion, which is very important for the day because we are trying to energize our startup or the creative community to come and take up the challenge of indigenization of defense technologies based out of India, make in India. Then we will have a specific introduction about challenges of one of our key sectors, that is Indian Air Force, delivered by Group Captain Haldekar sir, and then followed by a key opinion or key scientific opinion part wherein IP and integration of startups into the mainstream will be taken care of by Dr. B.K. Sahu sir from NRDC, and followed by question and answers from all of you. And then we'll have a concluding remark, and then again followed up with an energizing comment by Sachin sir, and we'll say bye to you all. So let's start the event with a basic introduction, and let's welcome you all again to the roadshow today. Let's get to the challenge, and let's have a great day having interaction with the right people who are in the right place at the right time, wherein we bring energizing efforts from all segments. Let's make it together. So I hand over to Dr. Prashant Singh, sir, for the introductory remark, and we start with this. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome from Bhubaneshwar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster. I'm Prashant, and I thank you all for taking out your time and joining the session focused on fifth iteration of Defence India Startup Challenge, what we say is DISC Challenge 5.0. To start with a brief overview of Bhubaneshwar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster, that is BCKIC. It's a science and technology cluster set up under the initiative of Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India to create an inclusive infrastructure, address some of the local and regional challenges, and work on the projects of national importance. This is not possible unless the cluster does not have cross-sectional outreach. So we work on the cross-sectional outreach with seamlessly connecting industry, academia, startups, governments, and corporates in a hub and spoke model. The cross-sectional approach effectively utilizes the collective strength of different sectors and come with the complete technology, which is closing the loop from development to deployment. Similarly, sustainable entrepreneurial environment is being nurtured to fulfill the gaps with the aim of best fit solutions in the translational space. In our endeavor in integrating different sectors, national missions and programs play important role, and they are providing necessary linkages. And today we are extremely delighted to host the session in association with Defence Innovation Organization, implementing organization for iDEX program. The iDEX challenge was launched by, that is Innovation in Defence Excellence Challenge, was launched by Honorable Prime Minister in April 2018 to achieve the self-reliance and foster innovation and technology development in defence and aerospace sector. Today, we are talking about fifth iteration of the challenge, and gradually but decisively, country is shifting towards indigenous tech development and growth. Eminent panels of speakers are there to introduce you about the challenge. I welcome Commander Sachin Jain ji. I welcome Group Captain Pallav Haldekar ji. And then expert session is given by Vijay Kumar Sahu ji and Dr. Shiva Raman ji, who is himself a startup co-founder of startup Big Bang Boom Solutions. We have multiple joinees coming from incubator and startup space, coming from both academic and industrial setup. Dear participant, welcome to today's event. The program is being recorded and live stream so that if you miss something, you can go back and check it out on the YouTube channel. You can put in your question both in WebEx as well as in YouTube channel. My colleague Sudhir ji and from DIO Ms. Malika Bashim ji is coordinating, and they will be putting the questions to the experts. I believe that the outreach session will give you a detailed insight on the program, how to apply, what are the last date, and looking forward to wider understanding and participation, for which the last date is 8th October 2021. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Now I would like to request Commander Suchin Jain to brief about the whole event and to talk a little bit about Commander Suchin Jain. He is an IIT Delhi alumni and IIM Ahmedabad alumni with a patent in his sleeve. He's a naval architect and retired Indian Navy commander. During service, he worked in structural designing of aircraft carrier Vikrant, modernization of INS Vikramaditya, general arrangement, designing of stealth frigates, and planning management of nuclear submarine projects. In his post-service career, he has founded startups in renewable sector, mentored numerous startups founders across sectors, and has contributed to various startups and innovation programs as program director at DIO iDEX. I welcome you, sir, for the presentation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Sudhir, for a nice introduction. And thank you, Dr. Prashant, for telling about your process at the Scientific and Technology Park. So, and I welcome all the panelists here on behalf of iDEX, and I welcome all the participants today who are looking forward to be part of this emerging defense ecosystem in the country about the startups. So today I'm going to talk about what is iDEX and what is the process that we follow. And I will give you a brief about how you can apply for the various challenges that we have from iDEX. So iDEX, as you know, it stands for Innovations for Defense Excellence. And under this initiative of Department of Defense, Defense Innovation Organization has been formed with collaboration from Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and Bharat Electronics Limited. It is basically a path to procurement framework for accelerating and scaling the innovative startup technologies in the defense sector. So it is the ecosystem for Indian military to co-create technologically advanced solutions by harnessing the power of entrepreneurial innovation and venture capital. So we enable Indian innovation to substitute imports and transform the indigenization to innovation. So the few principles that we follow in this process is co-creation by the various stakeholders who are involved. That includes iDEX, that includes startup, that includes the armed forces, the concerned DPSUs. It includes various testing, trial agencies, and whole gamut of other agencies that are otherwise inaccessible to the startups, those who come forward and support the startups through iDEX. We also promote the dual use technologies which have application in civil as well as defense. So the idea is that the solution which are emerging from iDEX support are self-sustainable. So that is why they don't have only one customer, which is defense. They also have other customer in the civil applications. So the startup can grow much faster and scale up much faster. So that is why we focus on the dual use technologies. So it is an open innovations platform where it is just not a project kind of a thing given by the armed forces, whereas the innovation is evolved along with the armed forces and the startups. So it is a corporate VC model where the large corporates come forward and support the small startups to get the good services which they are otherwise to get in their own organizations, and they get access to the flat structures which exist in the startups, and that hastens the innovative process. So the key program capabilities that we have developed over last few years is we have launched a portal for the grants management. So that has helped us increase the speed of the grant management and the grant disbursement. We have developed the Spark grants and investment framework. We also have a product management approach, which is specifically developed for the armed forces, because armed forces, we need very high quality products. So from the startup, so we focus on this approach, which is a systematic process by which we are able to get the product at the end of the development cycle, where it is procured by the armed forces. We are also linking the iDEX innovations to the defense procurement policy, and we are also transforming the innovations in the defense sector, as I mentioned, through the culture of innovation and co-creation, developing technologies and deliver products rapidly and create defense tech companies, which will be the future unicorns in the defense space. So this has been the journey of iDEX. We were launched in 2018 by Honorable Prime Minister, and the DISC 1 was announced with 10 challenges. And in 2019, we launched 2 DISC challenges with the 7 challenges, and we also opened up the Open Challenge 1. So as you know, the DISC is Defense Innovation Startup Challenge, and which we are announced 2 times a year, and the statements are specific given by the services. But any startup which has a solution which they think that it is important for the armed forces, they can also apply to the open challenge that we run across the year. Now, in 2020, we showcased our iDEX winners in the Defense Expo 2020, which gave them a lot of visibility. And we launched Open Challenge 2 and 3. We also launched DISC 4 with 11 challenges, and we also launched a scheme, iDEX for 4G, which was aimed at the defense personnel who have the idea of some product or service that can be useful for the armed forces. In 2021, we have showcased our iDEX winners during the Startup Manthan, which was held in Aero India Show 2021. And we have also launched this iDEX and product management approach portal. We showcased our startup products during the Commanders Conference in Gujarat. And this year now, we have launched DISC 5 with 35 challenges. It is unprecedented. And as part of this, we are looking forward to fund almost 100 startups. So it is a huge opportunity for the startups who are there and participating today. So I want to tell you that 2 iDEX startups have already signed the procurement contract with the Indian Navy and Indian Air Force, worth almost 13 crores, and the other one also is running into many crores. So the figures will be out soon. So we operate through various partner incubators, which are running at IITs, IIMs, and some of the leading private sector partner incubators. So we have so far received 1,500 applications. We have 20 plus nodal agencies: Army, Navy, Air Force, Defense Public Sector Undertakings. We are funding right now 80 plus innovators, and total product development budget which is being used here is almost 150 crores, which includes 60 crores from the Spark grant that has been sanctioned, and 90 crores matching contribution, which the innovators are funding themselves. So we have open challenges where we have received 550 plus applications. So this is the leadership at the helm is Honorable Raksha Mantri ji, Shri Rajnath Singh, and Shri Ajay Bhatt ji, Honorable Rajya Raksha Mantri, Dr. Ajay Kumar, who is the Defense Secretary. At DIO, the structure is Shri Sanjay Jaju, who is the Additional Secretary of Defense Production, and CEO of DIO, Shri Anurag Bajpai, who is Joint Secretary DIP and Additional CEO of DIO, Shri Vivek Virmani ji, who is the Chief Operating Officer at DIO. Shri Rajkumar ji, who's Secretary Defense Production, he's the Chairman of DIO, and Shri R. Madhavan, who's CMD of HAL, is the Board of Directors. Mrs. Anandi Ramalingam is the CMD of BEL, and Dr. Chintan Vaishnav, he's MD AIM. These are the dignitaries who are on our Board of Directors. So some of the key highlights, the Honorable Raksha Mantri has approved a budget support of 500 crores over the next 5 years for iDEX this year. And Government of India has already earmarked 1,000 crore for domestic procurement through iDEX startups only in the financial year 2021-22 only, to give thrust to innovation and self-reliance in the defense ecosystem. FC is one of our startup where they have developed India's first indigenous robotic life buoys under the challenge unmanned surface vehicles and signed a deal of more than 13 crores with the Indian Navy. So this is the iDEX approach where we identify the problem through the services and the DPSUs, then in the form of the challenges which are thrown open as part of the challenges across India. Then the innovative solutions are presented by the startups to these challenges. Then these startups are selected and then we incubate them through the Spark grant and support from the key stakeholders. Then their product is integrated using a rapid testing and integration with the defense platform. So this leads to the indigenization and strengthening the defense capabilities by fostering Make in India. So this is the process that we have followed. The challenge curation, as I mentioned, then the sourcing and the screening of the applications through our online platform. Then these applications are evaluated and the winners are selected through a high-powered selection committee. Then the grant appraisal and diligence is done, and then we sign a contract and the grant disbursement starts. Then there is agile product development and the co-creation along with the industry. Then production ready prototype up to TRL 8 or 9 is envisaged to come out of this process, and we give almost maximum of 2 years for this development process. So we have startups which are developing in 12 months also, 18 months also, and maximum is 24 months that we are permitting. At the end of that term, we have a commercially ready product which is procured by the armed forces. So these are some of the snippets that we have held in 2019. That was the first ever Defense Connect took place. And this was the startup Mantri, which was presided by Honorable Raksha, Raksha Mantri ji. This is the Commander Conference of the Joint Services, which was held in Gujarat. These are some of the success stories from our iDEX startups. If you can look at, these are the kind of products that are coming out of iDEX. Chip Spirit Technologies is a startup which is working on the secure hardware encryption device. This is going to secure the communication for the armed forces. The Redon Technology is working on artificial intelligence in supply chain management and logistics. Lekha Wireless has set up the tactical LT LAN on the naval ships in 4G technology. We have Tombo Imaging, which is working on the see-through armor. They are in advanced stage, and this is able to give enhanced situational awareness by giving 360-degree view from the vehicle. Then Z Motion Technologies is working on remotely piloted airborne vehicles. We have Big Bam Boom Solutions today. The co-founder is Dr. Shiraman is present here. They are working on the countermeasures for illegal drones and measures, Gurukwa systems. They are also working on the similar solution. We have Skyroot Aerospace who are working on the foliage penetration radar. And to sum it up, we have various opportunities today with the iDEX, where iDEX startups have given limited tender inquiries. This is a huge benefit. So they stand to gain a lot from this effort by getting the work orders directly from the armed forces. Then 1,000 crore procurement only through the iDEX startup in 21-22. So this is a huge amount which has been earmarked for procurement through our startups. Then these products are exportable, and we support our startups through ministry for getting the export permissions. And then we have the defense and civil applications of these solutions. And there's a possibility of forming the joint ventures. The defense acquisition procurement includes a separate chapter today on iDEX procurement. So this is a huge benefit. And then there are investment opportunities and strategic opportunities for the industry as well as the investors. So thank you. I'll be happy to take the question at the end of this program. Now I hand over to
Thank you.
colleagues.
Thank you, Commander Sachin Jain. Now I would request Ms. Malika to play our video for the event.
Innovations for Defense Excellence, iDEX. With a vision to make the country self-reliant and self-sufficient on defense through the philosophy of identify, incubate, innovate, integrate and indigenize futuristic defense technologies, the Honorable Prime Minister of India launched the Innovations for Defence Excellence iDEX under the aegis of the Department of Defence Production during DIF Expo in 2018. In a span of 3 years from inception, iDEX has now emerged into a pan-national ecosystem to catalyze indigenous innovation and self-reliance in defense technologies. Under 38 innovation challenges issued by Indian military and DPSUs in 4 editions of Defence India Startup Challenges, from over 1,500 applications from startups and MSMEs, more than 50 winners referred to as iDEX startups have been selected. They are offered innovation grants of up to rupees 1.5 crore each under the Spark 1 scheme of the Defence Innovation Organization, DIO, exclusively to transform India's landscape of defense technologies and innovations. DIO, in partnership with 9 top incubators of the country, is actively supporting and nurturing startups towards rapidly realizing the products developed for Indian military and DPSUs. Recently, the Honorable Raksha Mantri has approved a budget of rupees 498.8 crore for the next 5 years to support over 300 startups and foster innovation in defense and aerospace sectors. iDEX now features as a procurement avenue under the Defense Acquisition Procedure, DAP 2020. The ministry has earmarked a total of rupees 1,000 crore for domestic procurement through iDEX initiative for the financial year 2021-2022.
Ministry of Defence had planned to channelize about rupees 1,000 crore during 2021-22 for procurement from iDEX startups.
In continuation to realize the vision, iDEX is now launching the 5th edition of the Defence India Startup Challenge. A total of 35 challenges from the 3 defence services and 6 defence PSUs are identified, cutting across several advanced technology domains, including artificial intelligence, machine learning, augmented and virtual reality, material science, nanotechnology, etc. Snippets from the respected Chief of Defence Staff and chiefs from Indian Defence Services sharing their leadership views on iDEX.
In the present security environment, change is inevitable, and adapting to change and staying ahead of the curve is a necessity. So as we launch the 5th Defence India Startup Challenge, let us encourage all young and bright sparks of India to put their minds together to solve the fresh set of problem statements posed by the defence services. The underlying endeavour is to make our country self-reliant in the field of defence, which we are sure will achieve with our combined efforts. Jai Hind.
Good morning, everyone. Today, India is matured to such levels of industrial capacity and technological capability that most of our requirements can be realized within our country. iDEX has been successful in creating an ecosystem in which startups, MSMEs, individual innovators, R&D institutes and academia have been able to connect and collaborate with the Indian defence establishment, thereby enabling co-creation and co-innovation. Today, a set of 5 new challenges of the Indian Army for these startups to take up are being launched as part of DISC 5. I would like to invite indigenous innovators and startups to be part of this unique opportunity to revolutionize military endeavors by unleashing the technical expertise and creativity like they have done in earlier iDEX initiatives. Thank you. Jai Hind.
IF has been actively involved in iDEX program and pursuing projects under all the 3 schemes. This platform has been successful in facilitating the tenets of co-innovation, co-ideation, co-creation and co-development. I am really happy to see iDEX successfully entering the 5th round of Defence India Startup Challenge. It will provide more challenges and opportunities to the promising young minds and entrepreneurs to showcase their potential and become part of a growing, broad-based defense ecosystem. I am confident that with each Defence India Startup Challenge, the innovators, startups and MSMEs will continue to grow and contribute immensely towards making us self-reliant in defense technologies. Jai Hind.
Honorable Raksha Mantri, Shri Rajnath Singh, dignitaries and participants. Innovation is an essential element of warfighting, and iDEX has been infusing the requisite thrust in this endeavor. 5 problem statements have been identified from the Indian Navy for the Defence India Startup Challenge 5. And I am optimistic that these problem statements will swiftly translate into adaptable solutions. I am also confident that the 5th edition of DISC will further broaden the innovation base for Indian defence industry and deliver quality results in mandated timelines. Thank you.
Inviting startups, MSME, individual innovators, research and academic professionals to apply. Selected applicants will get grants up to 1.5 crores, along with the opportunity to co-create and co-develop the defense technologies of future with our armed forces. Besides the grant, selected winners receive product and business acceleration support from iDEX partner incubators, access to defense facilities for QA and certification. Applications are open at idex.gov.in.
Hi, this is Ramu, Founder Director at Lekha Wireless Solutions. We are part of DISC Challenge for 4G LTE Tactical LAN. We completed our product development and we did the field trials on board naval ships. The kind of support we received from iDEX was amazing. I would like to thank them on this occasion, as well as we look forward for large-scale induction of our product into Indian Navy. Thank you.
Hello everyone, myself Nagendra Prasad. I am the founder of Radon Tech, and we would like to personally thank you, the whole team, right from Raksha Mantri ji to the iDEX team, for providing us an opportunity to work under such a great innovative program in AI and machine learning, predominantly in an aerospace and defense environment. Through this program, we have developed a unique AI-based solution for Boeing P-8I and Hawk 132 aircraft. We are already at milestone 4 and we are in the verge of completion of this particular product for Boeing P-8I and deploying it by end of August. And once again, I thank everyone for providing this great opportunity.
Hello, I am Ali Asghar Kalkatawala, the co-founder and the chief technical officer at Self Automation Services. We would like to thank the complete iDEX team, right from the Honorable Raksha Mantri ji, Defense Secretary, our CEO, Madhu sir, the complete iDEX team for this wonderful program. And more so, behind the complete thought process of shaping up this program to help the startups in the defense industry.
Innovations for Defense Excellence, iDEX.
Thank you, Ms. Malika, for the wonderful launch video wherein direct messages from Honorable Raksha Mantri ji to all our chief of staffs and various startups, enthusing the community, the creative community of innovators to get going and working together on the indigenizing of defense technologies in India. Now I welcome Dr. Shivaraman for the enthusiastic presentation. Talking about him, he is the co-founder of Big Bang Boom Solutions, an indigenous defense solution provider and tech integrator. Big Bang Boom's flagship product is its work on developing robotization, unmanned operation capabilities of T-series tanks. Dr. R. Shivaraman is a PhD nanotechnology by his studies, and he is one of the youngest PhD in nanotechnology to say so. Having completed his master's in nanotechnology following his bachelor's in computer science, Shiva now serves as investor and advisor for several startups such as Empower Labs, Flix Sports, Who Food Innovations, Portmanteau Food Solutions. As a researcher and a passionate educationist, Shiva is adept at solution engineering and nurturing research potential across the country. Welcome, Dr. R. Shivaraman, and I am sure it will enthuse the entire creative mindset present during this event. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sujit ji. I hope I'm audible to everyone here.
Yes,
I'm Dr. Shiva here. I'm one of our company, Big Bang Boom Solutions, has been part of the iDEX from day one. We were one of the first startups who participated in both Disk 1 and Disk 2. And over the last 2 years, we have successfully developed both the see-through armor, which is basically a situational awareness upgrade for armored vehicles, and anti-drone defense system, which can basically neutralize, detect, classify, and neutralize drone-based threats in both fixed and mobile platforms around the country. See, the entire platforms has been extremely fantastic for us because the major and the challenges that are being offered by the various stakeholders, etc. The critical part of iDEX is the interface that you get with the armed forces itself. Like when they talk about co-development, it is actually co-development in the sense that there is a lot of involvement of the armed forces, whoever the nodal agency is, whether it is MIRC or it is the Air Force, participate in not only in the development of the product but also in the decision making. As technologists would know, typically when you're building these products, there's a lot of trade-offs that need to be considered. Right? Like for example, if you're talking about camera systems, there is always a trade-off between the resolution and the, let's say, the FOV of the camera. And these kind of decision makings be impossible for an individual innovator to make unless there is an end user who's involved in the developmental process on day one. That is one of the most fascinating things about iDEX. Just to give you a short story, I'll not take too much time. If you look at where our projects are, we've finished milestone 5 in our C2 armor project. Very recently finished the trials. We are going forward for the UPR process, which is like the ultimate step before the procurement. The entire part of it where you need to mount cameras onto a tank requires a number of agencies to work with us. It is not quite as simple as iDEX giving a grant to us. It requires OFB MADEC, which is basically the fabricator to work with us. It requires DGMF and DGQA to work with us on the quality control and what are the specifications that we follow in building the product. All the buyers help from on determining what are the use cases of the product that we are developing. So DIO plays that critical role in ensuring that all of these key stakeholders are available to us at our need. They participate in the entire process through the milestones and ensure that the product delivery happens on. So it is not something that you're given a challenge and a startup has to come out with a product. It's actually a place where all the involved parties together work on ensuring that there is success involved. As I was telling you earlier, one of the key stories that I remember is recently we've been talking to a lot of people about our C2 armor project, and we've been showing people, what we've built of the testing, etc. One of the very interesting observations was when we recently met the managing director of Kalyani Rafael. As you guys would know, Kalyani Rafael is one of the largest defense companies in the country today. And we described what we have done to him and showed him a video. And this gentleman was absolutely flabbergasted because he told me, Shivasi, I think the biggest advantage you guys have is the association that you have with iDEX. Because just to give you a story, Kalyani Rafael had been trying to work on upgrades to BMP vehicles for a long time, like the APUs, the chassis, the sensor systems, etc. And as a process of their development, they've been asking the Indian government for a vehicle on which they can experiment with their sensors, etc. This took a company as big as Kalyani Rafael 7 years to procure a broken down chassis so that they could create a replacement of it. On the other hand, we have been working for the last 1.5 years and we have absolutely unfettered access to the vehicles. And that itself, I think, should be a great credit to iDEX. So in short, guys, I think it's a fantastic platform to be a part of. And I would encourage a lot more startups to come on and try and attempt to solve the challenges that are being brought at this stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shivaraman, and thanks for the inspiring word. Definitely iDEX would be an ideal platform to taking things forward for all the startups who are listening to it. Now, I would request Group Captain Pallav Haldekar Sarji for his to talk about him a little bit. He is currently a key enabler based out of the Directorate of Aerospace Design in Air Headquarters. The Department of Aerospace Design is the nodal department of Indian Air Force for interfacing with private industry, innovators, and startups towards harnessing niche technologies of IAF. Group Captain Pallav Haldekar is a fighter pilot himself who is qualified flying instructor and experimental test pilot. He has flown Mirage 2000, MiG-21, Hawk 132, and various transport and training aircrafts. In his current appointment, he, along Group Captain R.G. Hegde, look after the iDEX project related to IAF. And I would request Sir to give some insight on the challenges of Indian Air Force with regards to Desk 5 challenge. Please, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Sudhirji, for the introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are very clearly audible, sir.
Okay. First of all, I would like to share my views on iDEX. iDEX is a unique and remarkable initiative of MOD to further the cause of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. It is helping in creation of an ecosystem of innovation and technology development in defense and aerospace industry. Indian Air Force is a part of iDEX framework, wherein we turn out to be the end users of the products designed and developed by the startups and innovators under this iDEX initiative. And me, along with Group Captain R.G. Hegde in Directorate of Aerospace Design, are currently posted, and this directorate has been formed in Plans Branch in the Air Headquarters Vayu Bhavan, which is the nodal directorate for all iDEX related activity. I'll share my contact details in the chat box after I complete. Indian Air Force is fully involved in this design and development process and the process of co-creation and co-development by providing full support to the startups and innovators in the process of the product development. However, I must emphasize here that as a user and as a product-oriented service, Indian Air Force keenly look forwards to the successful and timely project completion and product realization. This must be viewed in the light of the rapidly evolving technologies and their application through innovations and adaptations. And it always keeps forcing us to keep performing while racing against the time. As a part of DISC 5, Indian Air Force has launched 3 challenges. The information of these 3 challenges is available online on YouTube as well as with DIO. I'll not elaborate on these challenges as of now, but I must assure you that whichever startup feels that he is capable of addressing these challenges must participate through iDEX platform, and Indian Air Force assures full support in the co-creation and co-development and ensuring that these challenges come out as successful products. We will handhold you and we will provide you all the support during the development. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the inspiration, and certainly we will take the opportunity. Please do share your contact details, so any further, if anybody is having further queries, can address that. As
share the details right away.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, going ahead, let's have a little bit of input on the intellectual side of any technology and its integration into defense industry, and how important it becomes for the future to safeguard that technology, what we develop today. I call upon our expert opinion from Dr. B.K. Sahu. I'll give a brief introduction about him. Sir is the intellectual technology, intellectual property, and innovation management professional in academics, training, and profession. Dr. Sahu has more than 15 years of work experience and earned his MPhil and PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, and specializes in intellectual property rights and technological capabilities with special references to biotechnology innovation to India. Presently, Dr. Sahu is heading Intellectual Property Facilitation Center, IPFC, and Technology and Innovation Support Center at Visakhapatnam, National Research Development Corporation, Government of India. Recently, Dr. Sahu sir received National IP Award from Government of India as the Best Technology Innovation Support Center in contributing IP and innovation for the year 2020. Dr. Sahu sir advises and provides mentoring support to startups, activities, and establishment of innovation center in academia in India. I would request Dr. Sahu sir to take us through a little bit more into the IP facilitation, as well as how important it is for defense segment to safeguard its technologies. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Zha.
And it's a great honor for me to join in this iDEX program. And I'm really grateful to all the stakeholders of the country to joining hand, particularly to mitigate the challenge of the nation. And the program iDEX is certainly created a great impact to the nation, and also uh, as far as the mitigating of the challenge of our defense force. So when we are talking about innovation, technology, and how we are linking from mine to market, lab to land, as far as the technological innovation is concerned, we must have to look into various aspects. And if you permit, I have a presentation for 10 minutes. Let me share my PPT. I hope my PPT is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir. Yes, sir.
So yeah, as Mr. Jha told about facilitation of intellectual property. And when we are talking about defense ecosystem, and we have to analyze and we have to understand what to protect, what not to protect. And in the changing paradigm of innovation ecosystem, intellectual property is need of the hour for the protection as far as any startup, MSME, industry, academia is concerned. So as a national organization, we have the mandate, we have the mission to protect the intellectual property and connecting that intellectual property for incubation for new process and product development. So I'll start with the quote of Lord Buddha: if you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. And today, intellectual properties plays an important role in the knowledge economy, and it has become an intangible asset, and that gives opportunity, and that gives dominancy and also monopoly to the owner of intellectual property who have created. And today, research transform money into knowledge, technology transform knowledge into money, and we have all the flagship program what we have been discussing since morning. So we need to be a self-reliant, and there is a clarion call from government of India, and that is also dream of our founding father on indigenization. So I'd like to take you in the recent report of Niti Aayog and also Parliamentary Committee report on intellectual property right that was put in place before Parliament in 17th July 2021. It has been categorically mentioned that there will be a great impact of this industry 4.0. Around 46% of the workforce will be engaged in entirely new job, and we have to prepare for that. And for that new job, there is a impact of Indian economy around $957 billion by 2035 as far as this technology is concerned. But in order to get the extract benefit from this technology, we have to have a revisit our intellectual property legislation and need to have a strong IPR framework for the country, and also to mitigate such challenge of infringement, what we have been seeing every day in the media. So friends, intellectual property, particularly for a defense innovation, whether we must have to do and we must have to do a due diligence for that, whether we are going to protect or not, because we have a secrecy agreement under the section 39 and also section 4 and section 157 of Indian Patent Act as far as the secrecy invention, and that has to be put in place to the defense ministry. At the one side, that is one of the startup, and startup sometimes go for protecting IP. But when we are talking about defense innovation, certainly we have to take the balancing opportunity, whether we are going to file or not. That due diligence is need of the hour. And second, infringement is one of the biggest challenge to the country, and we have been placed under the special 301 provision before India by the US government, that is priority watch list to the country, like our country India. And third most important issue is infringement imitation. So for a defense and for a strategic technology, we need a novel technology so that we need not to mitigate the challenge of infringement today. Many startup has been facing that challenge, and they are not able to mitigate such challenge when there is going that case to the litigation and to the court. So for a startup, because it is a small entities, and that entrepreneur may not be able to mitigate such challenge, and as far as the litigation is concerned, better we must have to do a due diligence for protection of intellectual property. And today, when we talked about Industry 4.0, all these inventions and innovations come from various geographical locations, and there must be a benefit sharing. And the inventor must be respected, knowledge must be acknowledged, and that's the role of intellectual property today, because we have harmonized part of WTO, and there are many negotiations, and we are part of many negotiations, particularly on the technological part. And India, fortunately, as a country in various sector of technology, we are also exporting our technology and transferring our technology as per the WTO clause of Article 66.2. So other than this, I would like to inform you as far as the startup is concerned. Startup is nothing but navigating the new business to the world, and the future is foggy. So we must have to protect our intangible asset before venturing to the market. So that is the need of the hour, that startup must do their freedom to operate study. And when we talked about invention and innovation, the intellectual property plays a very, very important role. And that intellectual property bridges the gap between academia and industry, and that is lacking today. If you see the IP index, in India for the year 2019, 56,000 patent filed. But when we will compare with other country like China, in China, 15 lakhs patent filed. In US, more than 7 lakhs patent filed. And that is the monopoly in the global economy as far as this intellectual property in the form of intangible asset. The way DRDO has developed many technology in the recent time, particularly at this COVID period also, to mitigate such challenge, million people are getting benefit. And that's the technology developed in mass DRDO and transfer the technology to Dr. Reddy laboratories. And that drug 2DG is playing a very important role in mitigating that challenge. And that is nothing but bringing Saraswati and Lakshmi together, and that capacity we need to build in across the academia and institution. Then only we will mitigate such challenge. Some of the startup, those who we are associated with them in protecting their intellectual property. We are part of many PSUs, defense, and we have also collaborated with Ministry of Defense on protection of intellectual property, and many more plan has been already developed. And as a national organization, we are managing and also facilitating intellectual property to many defense PSUs, including ordnance factories and Ministry of Defense. So that arrangement is there, in that any startup MSME can also come to us and take that facility. So when we talked about innovative technology, the technology come from a laboratory, and it is a lab scale technology. How we are making a commercial successful technology, there are many challenges there. And these are some of the technology recently we transfer or commercialized to L&T Defense, who are manufacturing for Indian defense ecosystem. And that is the bridging of the gap between academia and industry we are playing as a national organization in providing the lab skill technology by value addition, by protecting IP, and many more. We are transferring, and these companies, the indigenous company, are giving indigenous technology to the nation, and that create impact to the nation as far as the innovation and economic growth is concerned. So NRDC as a national organization have connected with defense ecosystem in protecting their IP, transferring their technology, like the PPE kits, Navaraksha's PPE kits also we transfer, and as many as 12 MSME in the country. And today, when we see, we are doing our best in connecting the dot, particularly in technology transfer. So we must have to create IP, protect IP, because in the IP in the global economy, global innovation ecosystem, our index is very, very poor. So we need to integrate IP into our business in creating value in our institution, also to the human resource, marketing, finance, and strategy. That ecosystem we need to build, and we have to be IP centric. The ecosystem is like that, and that's the role of NRDC in technological innovation and bridging the gap between R&D and industries in transferring the technology from lab to the land, and with all value addition, with intellectual property protection, commercialization, and also marketing of technology. And that's our role as a national organization in connecting the dot, particularly sourcing of technology, identification of technology, assessment of technology, value addition of technology, and also publication, and connecting to the MSME startup and industry with that innovative technology, because we have many more institutions, those who are playing very, very important role. We have CSIR 39 lab, we have ICMR, we have DRDO, we have DAE, but the people should know, the MSMEs should know, the startups should know what are the technology, innovative technology are available. That publicity, the connectivity, that awareness is need of our all stakeholder. Then only we can have a 5 trillion economy and indigenization, which was the dream of founding father Mahatma Gandhi. So as far as the technology readiness level is concerned, our role is from when a technology comes and come to a level of demonstration, all the nitty-gritty, and also we mitigate the challenge of the technology development from prototype, pilot plant, commercialization. In that to scale, particularly prototype to commercialization scale, we have two value of death. One is technological value of death, another is commercialization of value of death. As far as the technological value of death, seed funding, and as far as the commercialization of value of death, many challenge, particularly in the finance and also the technology manufacturing and debt financing. Many more issues are there. So we need to have a proper due diligence to mitigate such kind of challenge in connecting the dot, transferring a innovative technology to the industry so that they can provide a affordable, adaptable technology, and that indigenized technology to mitigate the challenge of the nation. And that's our role, and that's our mandate, particularly providing a fillip to the MSME and startup with innovative technology with all value addition, so that these startup and MSME should not face any kind of infringement, and they should have a freedom to operate in the market. So it is a high time for all of us to understand, connect the dot with collaboration, and because everyone have some strength, we have to complement and supplement with each other. And at last, the problem is never how to get a new innovative thought into our mind, but how to get the old one out. That is very, very important. And that is the dream of founding father. Homegrown ideas promoted new skill and technology and self-reliance, in which we all are joining hand and doing our best. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. My mobile number, email ID is there. And let's join hand, make the difference. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sahu sir, for the insightful thoughts on protecting the defense technologies with IPR and integrating and enthusing further our scientific community to come forward and take a leap into defense sector as well in terms of innovation and indigenization of technology. Now I would request anybody, if there is any questions, you can put into the chat box so that I can ask to our distinguished panel members. If not, I would request our project director, Commander Sachin Jain, retired, to say a word of thanks to all our participants.
Thank you, Sudhirji. So I will take this opportunity to showcase the iDEX portal, since there were no questions. So at least audience who are aspiring to apply for our program, they are aware how they can go to the website and apply for this program. So if you see this website, idex.gov.in, once you go there, you'll find this link called DISC Disk. The moment you press it, you reach the disk challenges pages. Now in this, if you see, we have all the previous disks that were launched in the last 3 years showing here. Now only disk 5 is a live button where you can say the apply now. So the moment you go there, you come to disk 5 page, and here we have a detailed description of the challenges. So it's in a PDF format. So once you click, you're able to see this PDF file. Are you able to see the PDF file?
Yes, sir, we are able to see it.
So here you can see that the Army has got 5 challenges, Air Force has 3, Indian Navy has got 5, Hindustan Aeronautics has 9, and Bharat Electronics has got 3, like that. So we have total 35 challenges here, and about the name of each challenge, then the detailed specifications, problem statements which are given here. You can see that it is in detail provided here. So all those who are keen to apply for certain area and a certain challenge, they can find the detailed information here. Coming back to the website, here you can press this button, apply now. So in this, you can select the category, whether you are a startup, MSME, or an individual innovator. Fill up your name, first name and the last name. Select your gender, put in your mobile number, email ID, select the city, give your state, PAN ID, Aadhaar ID, and then upload your resume here. Then you can upload your pitch deck. A pitch deck we are permitting is a PDF, which is size is not exceeding 10 MB. And what to write in the pitch deck is given here once you see the help button. The first is about the problem statement and the proposals, founders, team advisors. Then what is the business model that you have on which you are going to create the revenues?
Just interrupting you for a second, sir. We had one question from one of our innovators that in segment of applicant's resume, as it was a group of scientists working together for a project. So in terms of resume, can they put a collaborative document wherein individual resumes of all the researchers are put in a single document and uploaded? Will that be all right?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, certainly that can be done, and the combined resume can be put up here. So in this case, as you see that in this slide pitch deck, you can have the team strength, where also you can talk about in detail about your team and give us in the form of a presentation. Then talk about the business model by which you're going to make the revenues. Then the market size, what you have estimated the product to have the market in India or abroad. So you have to talk about that. Then the competition analysis. Have you studied your competition and what they are doing? How you are different from them? You can bring it here. Then the intellectual property status of your present innovation. Then what is the project plan and the funding requirement that you have? You have any MVP or a prototype details that you can provide, and any traction, awards, or recognition that you have gained. Other details of the startup, such as name, registration year, registered address, website, PAN, founder, director details, and some more details which are specific to iDEX, such as shareholding details, Indian and foreign ownership, indigenous content, both in the components and the value, the matching contribution that you are planning to bring in terms of cash, in kind, or past expenditure. So that will complete your pitch deck. Then you can select the challenge under which you're applying. Once you've selected that, you can upload in detail about the proposed solution that you have, because our armed forces would like to know you in detail before they select you. So you can put it up together in a separate document which contains the proposed solution concept, the key technologies that you're using, the key product features, and the functionalities. So that can be put up here. And then you can mention the time. The maximum time that we are permitting is 24 months. Then you can put up how much Spark grant you are asking for. The maximum limit is 1.5 crores. And you have to also bring in the matching contribution of a similar amount or more. If your project development budget is more, we limit our grant amount to 1.5 crores only. So then you check these boxes and then you submit your application. So this is the process. Thank you regarding on this website. And now I will convey my vote of thanks. First and foremost, Dr. Prashant Singh, CEO of Science and Technology Cluster at Bhubaneshwar. I thank you, Dr. Prashant, for collaborating with iDEX and taking our message to all your connects and the network so that they benefited from this program. I really thank you for that. I thank Dr. Shiv Raman, who explained in such minute detail about his experience of working with iDEX and how he has benefited, plus how other startups could benefit from this program. And I also thank Group Captain Haldekar for the support that he is extending to all the startups which are presently working, and then which he has proposed to provide the support to all the future startups who are going to work with them. I thank Dr. Sahu for giving us such a detailed about intellectual property and how to protect our intellectual property and how this thing can help us monetize the knowledge that our startups have. And I also thank Mr. Sudhir, Malika for making this happen and for such a wonderful show that we have had today. And I also thank all the audience and the aspirants who are here today and who are going through this program. Thank you for sparing your time and going through this. And I wish you really good luck that you are able to come up with the solutions to the challenges posed by the armed forces and be a part of this future defense ecosystem which is emerging from India today. And it is open to anyone who wants to be part of defense programs. So I thank you all for being here, and I hope that you all participate and apply for various challenges through this. Thank you, everyone, from my side. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. So with this, we would like to conclude the show for the day. Please fill in. We would request everyone to wholeheartedly look through the iDEX website, go through the information, and anything, please let us know. Please let us know in your feedback so that we can reply back at a later time. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.